Well, Derbyites, welcome. It is Emmy season. We are coming up on the cutoff period for Emmy shows to get into to qualify for the race, and we're going to be talking about some of these open slot races that we have going on. Some of these races where there are open slots, nominees from last year aren't coming back. We have the fantastic Marcus Dixon, Ralph Galvan, and Rob Licuria with us. So let's start with comedy series, where we have two nominees not coming back. Parks and Rec scored a nomination last year for its final season, and Louie's taking the year off. So what will join Veep, Silicon Valley, Transparent, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Modern Family?
Blackish. I think
Done.
it's it.
Next.
I think it's in. I mean, a lot of the experts are predicting it. A lot of the editors are predicting it. I can't speak, but it's had such a great season. It's culturally important. I think it's in.
Wow. Okay. What about Master of None? Is that it?
Yes.
I would like to think so. I would like to think so, but
if it's not. I'll be pissed off if it's not in. To me, that was the funniest series on any platform of the last season, and did get really good reviews. And Aziz Ansari is a known quantity, so I would say that it's up there.
And it got a big boost when it won the Critics' Choice Award for Best Comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
What else? There's a lot. You know, what about Mozart in the Jungle, coming off its HFPA wins? It's now got a profile. It was on the ballot last year at the Emmys and it was completely ignored. It could be ignored again, but I think people are more aware of it now, and if they watch the screeners from Amazon, I think it'll be in. It's very much in the Emmys wheelhouse. It's got the snob appeal. It's highbrow. It's not funny, really that funny, but I think it's really delightful. It's a great show.
Neither is Transparent, and that got into comedy series.
Transparent, really.
And yeah, Mozart has a great chance. The Emmy event that Tom actually, our great Tom O'Neill, leader of Gold Derby, hosted.
On him.
Yes, the event that he hosted for the Emmys for Amazon, Mozart in the Jungle. That event was completely sold out. It was probably the quickest sellout that they've had for the Emmy FYC events. Everybody there just loved the show. The panel was great. I think Gael Garcia Bernal has an excellent shot of getting into the lead actor category. And I think the show itself, I mean, if we've got two open slots, there's really not much. I haven't seen anything from Amazon yet. They said they were going to send out the whole season to Emmy voters. But there are 4 other ones that have sent out their stuff. And I know some of you are a fan of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and Marcus's favorite show.
Last Man on Earth.
Jane, of course, and then Fresh Off the Boat, 2 other ones that Fox and CBS sent in their massive packet. So those could come about. It's just too bad about ABC because ABC has so many great comedy shows. I don't know if Blackish would make it in just because I don't think it's – I mean, it's talked about, but I think Anthony Anderson making it in last year is more talked about, and I think Tracy Ellis Ross has a better shot in lead actress comedy than it does as a series nom itself. Because as Rob pointed out, it seems like Emmy voters are much more snobbish than anything, which is why I think Mozart has an even better shot than Blackish to get in there.
And that's why Transparent's, a lock. It doesn't matter if these shows are funny because the rule is that you have to be half an hour, and if you're half an hour, you're a comedy. So you can be funny or not funny. It doesn't really matter anymore. It's kind of a controversial rule that they made, but that's the rule.
Yeah.
That's the rule, and they'll sometimes stick by it.
They'll sometimes stick exactly.
They stick by it unless you're everything except for Orange is the New Black. That's the only one that they stick to that rule with.
Yeah, but surely if In Treatment was on now, it would be in a drama, and if The Girlfriend Experience is having a second season, it wouldn't be a comedy. So they really do need to open their eyes and not be so black and white. But going back to the topic, would Master of None really join Kimmy Schmidt and have 2 Netflix series and 2 Amazon series possibly in this mix? Like, is that actually going to happen? Maybe casual or difficult people from Hulu as well. Like, so we're thinking like majority streaming. Like, could you ever have imagined that, like, say 3 years ago?
I don't know if that will happen.
I actually think that is, to me, what's surprising about that is that I don't find it that bizarre. Remember, the Academy, for all their hesitancies to embrace certain things, they embraced streaming pretty quickly. I mean, House of Cards got a bunch of nominations that first year, and then the next year, not only that, but Orange is the New Black was also there, and then Transparent right off the bat was getting in there. I think it would not surprise me in the least to see four streaming nominees in this category.
And that's gotta piss off networks like the CW so much, because they're actual networks on television that are easily accessible, and then you've got these streaming giants just coming in, and because one show has Kevin Spacey in it, all of a sudden these award nominations flock to it, and then it just keeps expanding and expanding. What I would say, because you guys know this is probably one of my favorite shows on TV, not probably, but one of my favorite shows on TV with Jane, is that CBS did something really smart for their shows this year, in that every Emmy FYC box that you get has the password and everything else that you can go and watch a show on their FYC website or something. CBS is doing it this year in correlation with iTunes, which is the largest digital platform out there. And of course, if you have an iPhone, it's very easily accessible. You just push an app and accessible with anything else. And they're letting you watch the shows for free. The entire season's on there, which I think is really helpful, as opposed to somebody like Mozart, where you have to go onto Chrome or some other kind of gadget or find it on Amazon Prime in order to watch it. So I think they have a leg up there, but I think, like Marcus said, the buzz is pretty big on Jungle, and it does have that snob appeal, so that may have more of a chance in even some of these.
I kind of get annoyed with all the FYC campaigns, because I mean, if you're a voter, you should be watching these shows throughout the year. You shouldn't be able to, if you receive it in the mail, then all of a sudden you've heard of the show or you're going to plug it in. Like, you should be watching TV voters. I'm yelling at you now. You should be watching the shows I know you make TV and you're often not home at night, but come on, guys, it's part of your job. You shouldn't have to rely on a screener to tell you that Jane the Virgin is a great show.
It's not really a job. They don't get paid for it unless they take bribes, which I am not saying they do.
I'm willing to. Anyone want to give me a bribe?
Yeah, you're right. They should be entrenched in watching all this art that's being delivered on various platforms, because they are into it, like we are. It's our.
Think about it. If you're like one of the tech people who's supposed to be watching these shows, you're crammed in a small room every day. Cutting. If you're an editor, you're cutting footage of people that are very probably more attractive than you, all day. The last thing you want to be is continuing to be in a small room watching more of this. You want to be outside, have a life.
Mm-hmm. That's why I love our Gold Derby TV Awards are so great, because it's from fans that actually watch the shows throughout the year. There's no campaigning that goes on. They're not bought. It's just their vote for what they love. That's how the Emmy should be. Okay,
and
my rant's over.
Not even just fans. They're like educated watchers, like people that are completely intense into this whole awards thing. So I think if you get a Gold Derby nomination or an award, it really is not from your peers, sure, but it's from people that really have a passion for this stuff. So it's not just like, I'm a fan of Scream Queens and I'm going to nominate everything for it. It's people that actually watch this stuff, which is great.
It's not the People's Choice Awards.
Exactly.
It's the Viewers for Quality Television Awards. Remember the Viewers for Quality Television? Died off about 10, 15 years ago. That's what we are now. But I would say to people who vote on Gold Derby Awards, try to think outside the box or the square, because too often our own awards mirror the Emmys and the Oscars too closely. We don't need to be a precursor. We don't need to follow what the academies do. Just vote for what you love, so we can have our own interesting nominations.
I would say our television awards definitely don't follow the grain. If there's a lot of groundswell for a show, to the credit of our posters, they will nominate it. Happy Endings got Gold Derby TV nominations, not so much at the Emmys.
Can't believe it's been 3 years since that show was canceled.
Oh God! Don't rip that Band-Aid off again.
No, it's the worst. That was the best show on TV.
Yes, it was.
Maybe. All right, let's go back to what else is going to hit. Because Grace and Frankie, that's another Netflix show. Has anyone seen the second season yet? I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Which one?
Grace and Frankie.
Oh, okay. I have not seen it yet.
So it's a possibility as well. There's another streaming service show that could make it in. Catastrophe is another one. That's a British American co-production on Amazon, but geez, the reviews for that are insanely good. It's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
I guess we shouldn't only assume there's 2 open slots. I mean, are the other 5 100% back? Is Veep going to come back? Yes, I think so. Modern Family, I think so. Silicon Valley,
Actually,
what about that?
Of all the other returning shows that I'm looking at right now, I actually think Modern Family is in the most danger.
So do I.
I've heard some people say that. I think the voters are so lazy that it doesn't matter, how good or how bad Modern Family is. I still think it's excellent. I think that they have to fill out 10, right, Ralph? They have to name 10. I mean, Modern Family is going to be in everyone's top 10.
Yeah, I don't even think we could name 10 that we actually think are deserving of an Emmy nomination. I think it's hard. I mean, I wouldn't put Transparent on there personally because I don't really think it's a comedy. But you're supposed to come up with 10. I mean, I think Modern Family just had an Emmy event last week. Chris and I attended it. It was very well attended. It was still packed. People still loved that show regardless. All the cast was there, including Sofia Vergara for the first time in like 2 or 3 years. I don't think it's really in any danger. I don't think it's going to win ever again, but I think it's going to just be a staple in there. I mean, look at how long Girls was in there, even when everybody said that it was having a slump or any of these other shows that were there. They just kind of hang around.
I'm going to predict Modern Family will win again for its final season, no matter, year 10 or whatever. I think it'll win once again, but not this year.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
But look how we thought The Big Bang Theory, might be that one that would just sort of stick around, and then out of nowhere it was just gone last year.
And Jim Parsons was gone.
Jim Parsons after
Will they come back? Do you think they could come back? Have they had a good season? I don't really think they have. The critics have liked Miami Arlick.
Liked it, yeah.
But I think it's a little different though because you're talking about Modern Family, which won 5 comedy series Emmys, versus yes, Big Bang was in there, but it was never really that kind of highbrow snob appeal show. It was more the young geeks kind of, almost like a Silicon Valley type show. So I think there's not really a fair comparison on that one.
Well, okay. What about Mom? Can that maybe?
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. It's so good.
It's like the best
multicam show.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them left, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it get more nominations than 1.
Yeah,
get more than 1. That's their goal.
What about those guest performances? It's having a very good season. So.
They're submitting a lot of ladies for the guest performance side. Emmy magazine just came. I don't have it with me. It's over there. But the front cover, it's not even a cover. It's kind of just a pull-out wraparound around the actual magazine, and it's all for Mom. And Allison Janney and Anna Faris is right on the cover. And then you open it, and it's got Rosie O'Donnell and every other guest actress that has been in there. I mean, it is pushing hard, and I think it would be great if it got in there. It's a really good show, and if Anna Faris could break in, that would be just awesome.
Yeah, so that's a possibility.
Well, actually, since you brought that up, just one other show I wanted to plug, Real O'Neals. If that could get in, that would be wonderful.
And just got picked up for season 2.
I think that show is actually hysterical, and it validated to me for the first time what Ralph has been saying forever about ABC having good sitcoms. And it's not because I don't like the other ones. I just haven't seen them.
Well, what can actually? Let's talk about what can realistically make it in, because we've all listed a number of shows. But let's be real. Like the CW is going to struggle, like they always do. Jane the Virgin and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend have a right to be considered, but I don't think they're going to make it. Things like Getting On won't make it. Andy Tribeca on TBS won't probably make it in. But what can? Like Grace and Frankie, probably not. But Master of None, yeah. But is there anything else, really, honestly, that is going to crack through this set?
Keep in mind, Last Man on Earth got writing and directing last year. So that's very telling. I mean, I realize it was for the pilot, and maybe they didn't watch past the pilot. But, I mean, that could make it in. I mean, I'm kind of biased because I love that show so much. But we have to remember that, the writing and directing.
I always remember, though, My Name is Earl, how that won writing and directing its first year. And even in the second season, Jamie Presley won. Jason Lee never made it in. And the show never made it in for series. So, as wonderful as that was, and how could potentially telling, with that one, I don't think it's going to get in there.
It will either follow the Bernie Mac show and My Name Is Earl, or it'll follow Malcolm in the Middle. Like there's one, or it's going to go one way or another. That's how I see Last Man on Earth. It's in that way.
I have kind of I have a question for you guys on this comedy series thing, because when Chris interviewed Julie Bowen, she brought up the point, which I think we've talked about before, is that you've got these shows like The Real O'Neills or Modern Family or Jane the Virgin. They're 24 episodes in a season. Some that came in half season are 12 or 13. And then you have shows like Catastrophe, which are 6, or Veep, which are 10. And I don't know if maybe there's a point where they have to kind of separate themselves, because I feel like it's much harder to be creative and funny 24 times a year than have 10 perfect shows. I think there's a disadvantage there, that something has to change in that, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not a writer, but if I was, I'd be kind of irked that, Veep is getting into writing nominations when I'm flushing out 24 and have to spread all of that creativity throughout a whole season.
Yeah,
right.
It's what the Good Wife writers always complain about.
That was their big campaign last year. They're like, we're doing 22 episodes, or maybe it was 2 years ago. True Detective is doing 6 or 8, or it's really not fair at all. And I can't believe more of these regular networks aren't pushing back. Maybe they are, and we're not realizing it.
Well, they have much more time to fill, so yeah.
They have a lot of downtime. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Anna Faris possibly getting in. Let's transition over to comedy actress, which has 3 open slots. Nurse Jackie, depending on how you view the finale, is DOA, and yeah, you like that pun, don't you? Amy Poehler, Parks and Rec is gone, and oh God, what's the other one?
Lisa Kudrow,
for the comeback. She will not be there. I can't put. I don't know. Maybe it's like Jane the Softie or something. I can't think of what it's called, but
that girl that won the Golden Globe a couple of years ago. I just cannot remember for the life. Oh, that's right. It's Gina Rodriguez. Thank you, Ralph, for reminding us. No.
I thought that was someone trying to hop over the border.
Yeah, I think Rachel Bloom and what's her name again? I've forgotten her name. Will not make it in because they just don't watch CW, and until I see it happen, I won't believe it. I hope it happens, but it won't.
It's tough.
Oh, there's that other girl. Yeah, what's her name?
I feel like if Jane the Virgin came out this year with 3 open slots coming off of the Golden Globe win, I think she would get in. I think Rachel Bloom's getting in though because she is the writer, she is the songwriter, she's the producer, she's the creator. I think they really respect that at the Emmys.
I think you're completely wrong.
I'm with Rob on this one. I am not going to predict that. I am not going to. I can't see it happening until I actually see it happen.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think Gina obviously has a much better shot than Rachel Bloom does, just because Gina's show is more known, is more publicized, and has won more. I mean, just has more credibility within the awards circuit than Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Alma Awards don't count.
No.
That's fine because they'll notice on the cover it's an AFI, Golden Globe, Peabody, People's Choice, TCA. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, my point was that it was more awarded than Crazy Ex-Girlfriend as a program. That's what we were talking about.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend at least has the recent wins, and it's got a little bit more heat. If anyone will get it, it'll be Rachel Bloom, but neither of them are going to make it because the Emmy voters are so stupid and they don't watch the CW.
First of all, don't call me stupid, and I do watch the CW. And Gina has a much better shot than Rachel Bloom does to get in. But aside from that, I think it's hard for either one of them because if Constance Wu on an ABC network can't get in, or like a Wendy McClendon Covey can't get in, I mean there's so much. That's why I think with from earlier, I think Tracy Elise Ross has a really good shot to get in for Blackish because Anthony Anderson had gotten in and there's that open slot and she had a lot of buzz last year. Anna Faris, I hope, but I mean they've snubbed her now 2 years in a row. It seems like all they care about is Allison Janney in that show. So I don't know who else is there.
Ellie Kemper is a lock, 100% lock. Ellie Kemper's getting in.
Oh yeah, she has to be this time. Please don't make that mistake again, Emmy voters, and please make sure she's in.
There's got to be one throwaway nomination each year, and that's the one.
I think. I also think, I'm going back to the Real O'Neills, but Martha Plimpton got nominated in this category a couple of years ago for Raising Hope, and
she should have won.
And and she's an Emmy champ also. She won for guest actress for The Good Wife. She might, because of familiarity, she could get in.
I think she's the Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to. She's the only chance for that show, definitely.
Yeah. Are the other three that got in last year locks? I mean, it's Julie Louis-Dreyfus, it's Amy Schumer, and Lily Tomlin. Yes. I think they're in.
What about Jane Fonda?
Yeah. What about Jane Fonda?
Could be the four. Yeah.
Pass her over.
Like seriously, I think Jane Fonda is the biggest threat, and I also believe that Lena Dunham. I know it sounds crazy, but every year we get these ridiculous nominations, not ridiculous, but out of left field that none of us would ever imagine, people coming back after 2 or 3 years. I really believe Lena Dunham's had a good year, and she's been in the press a bit lately, especially with all of her nudity and stuff with Trump. I just think she's a possibility. I think I might put her in my 6.
I asked Lena Dunham for a selfie 3 years ago, and her publicist told me no, so I'm never going to predict her again until she gives me a selfie.
And you are the selfie king. Your selfies
I know.
are
It's like, come on, Lena. Everyone does it with me. Just come on, just do it. 5 seconds.
Can that be the quote blurb for our chat? Come on, Lena. Everybody does it with me.
Yeah.
You had to say no to Marcus for selfies. There's so many, and they're all so good. What else, guys? What about Rashida Jones? She's a
I hope so. I hope so. I love that show. Andrew Tribeca is the funniest show on TV.
Wow, I don't know about that. TBS has never had has never really had a presence at all for original programming. I find it hard to imagine, especially since she never got in for Parks and Rec. I just kind of don't see it happening.
Well, all right. What about one of the girls from Broad City, like Abby Jacobson, for example? Could that even possibly do it? I doubt it. Now I'm just throwing names out there, but this goes to show there's so many great women in comedy at the moment. You could have 15 on.
Laurie Metcalf. I mean, getting on.
Emmy veteran Laurie Metcalf.
I would love to see Catherine O'Hara get in for Schitt Creek. She is an Emmy. I mean, not Emmy. She's just a comedic legend. She deserves way more award praise than she's ever gotten in her past. I mean, it's ridiculous. She's not an Oscar nominee already.
Yeah, for your consideration, she definitely deserves an Oscar.
Come on, this woman is genius. If there are 3 open slots and we're looking for a legend, I really hope she can make it in, and we're going to talk to her pretty soon, which will be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who gets nominated because Julie Louis-Dreyfus is going to win again. So it really doesn't matter. Just don't even nominate anyone else. Just put her up.
Well, from what I've seen of Veep so far, and Ralph, just block your ears. She's great. She's
good.
Never been better.
No, I agree. Last season, I did not like last season, and I didn't think she deserved last season to win. But this season, I was really thinking Silicon Valley was going to be really great and kind of be what I was going to be championing. And it's good, but Veep has really surprised me. This season is so much stronger than last season. It's funnier. It's just, it's great. I wish it would win Comedy Series this year and take away last year's and give it to Silicon Valley. That would be
it even changed the showrunner, and I think it even got better by doing that.
Without Armando Iannucci, which is very surprising. And
I was very worried about that. I was very worried that it would suffer in terms of quality.
And Inside Amy Schumer so far, I think they're up to episode 3, has been brilliant. She is definitely getting nominated. She's not as hot. She's not the it girl anymore as she was last year because she doesn't have a film out, but she's still very much in the zeitgeist, and that show is hilarious. So she's in for sure, and I believe Melissa McCarthy will be in again because
Rob,
such a massive. Come on,
get in last. She didn't get in last.
I'm going to play this back to you. I know she didn't get nominated last year, but she comes in, she goes out. She comes in, she goes out. She's coming back. She's a big star, and Mike and Molly is going off the air, and it's going to happen.
You could be totally right on that. That makes complete sense.
Yeah. The Emmys never make sense, guys. Don't try to make too much sense of this. It's always shit that we don't expect.
Just watch. Margot Martindale is going to get nominated for The Americans as comedy actress.
Right. Yeah. Like something really
She'll
stupid.
win.
And she'll win comedy actress.
Can't be stupid, but because I think she's great on Mike and Molly, but it's going to happen, I reckon. So have we missed anybody, or is that pretty much the run of the people that could make it back? I think it is.
Yeah.
I believe it is. I believe it is as well, including some insanely far possibilities that's never going to happen. So let's take a look at supporting actress in comedy, because we had a very fascinating race last year with 8 nominees.
Too many.
Yeah. Oh no, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. It made the race more exciting
No, we just knew there would be 7 losers, and we knew which one would win. It was never a race.
Oh no, Anna Klumsky had a very good shot in that category. I don't give a damn what you say. Anna Klumsky had a very good chance in that. Who is the most at risk of being left behind this time?
Just in case people forgot, it's Mayim Bialik, Julie Bowen, Anna Klumsky, Gabby Hoffman, Jane Krakowski, Kate McKinnon, Niecy Nash, and the winner was Allison Janney.
Kate McKinnon's the only one that has to worry. The others are all in the
No!
very...
What?
Kate could win!
I think Niecy Nash and Mayim Bialik are probably the 2 that I would pick that would probably get the boot most likely from there.
Okay, I think they've got it better. I think the SNL people are always fillers. That's just how I look at them. They never win.
But Kate McKinnon's been in there forever.
And Hillary Clinton is so popular right now. They're going to just vote for her for Hillary.
I think, really, don't you think that SNL is a little bit yesterday's news at the moment?
It's been that way. It's been that way for 5 years. That hasn't stopped it from getting nominated.
Plus 10, at least 10 years.
With the election, it should be so much more in the consciousness and it's really not as much as it could be. That's just my view. I could be completely ignorant.
Well, remember, in 2008, it really wasn't in terms of the election until Sarah Palin came along.
True.
Which was in September.
True, that's right. So we've got a little bit of time ahead of us.
I think also Gabby Hoffman might be in danger of losing her slot to Judith Light. They might, or Amy Landecker. I mean, they may nominate all 3. Who knows? But
I hope so.
When I look back at the season, Amy and Judith really stood out to me as being strong.
Yeah. Judith is brilliant in that, as was Amy. And Jane Krakowski, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I can imagine she's
great.
Yeah, Mayim Bialik had the best season ever.
Jane, if episodes matter, Jane could submit that one where she's going head-to-head with Anna Camp. It's like episode 9 or 10. They have their fundraisers are on the same day, so they battle. It's just like so funny.
Oh yeah, she was brilliant in that. The thing I should note though is that would it would be great if episodes made a damn bit of difference anymore. They don't.
I don't think they do.
They really don't.
It really doesn't matter.
What it matters is it helps us just work out who has a shot. But in terms of the tapes now, no one gives a shit. So
I don't know. I think Allison Janney and Uzo Aduba had the 2 best tapes in their category last year, and they both won.
That's true.
But they're also former winners, so we know the voters just like them already.
Yeah, that's another point.
Yeah, but Uzo was a winner in the guest drama category. This was supporting actress, or I'm sorry, guest comedy, and this was supporting drama.
Yeah, but Uzo's just so charming. How could you not like her?
That is a damn good point.
Is she winning again? I think
might.
Christine Baranski could do it.
I hope so. Let's save that because I've got a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So basically, our conclusion for supporting actress in comedy is we have no fucking idea because 8 nominees last year. There might be 12. Who knows? They might nominate 0.4% of someone else also. So, who knows?
But because there were 8, there's no real open slots, and that's why there's really no one else I think can break through. I honestly believe that Bernadette Peters from Mozart in the Jungle is the only person that we haven't spoken about that could possibly break in. If you've watched the episode where she sings on the stage on that show, when I saw that, I thought, oh, okay, so she's a possibility too. So this.
I mean, we could, and also in a perfect world, Carol Kane would also be in the conversation for Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah.
She was wonderful this year.
In a more perfect world, Eden Scher would be.
I was just gonna say Eden.
Oh, good. Sorry, I beat you to it.
But no, I think we have to give up on Eden because
I know
season 7.
been years now. But,
He
Alison
should have won last year. Damn it.
Yeah.
The only person that can take this off Alison Janney, I believe, is Mayim Bialik. She's had a really good season.
Rob.
I'm telling you, mate. It's a possibility. So just hold on.
Rob is like an Emmy voter for sure. He's bringing all the old shows back. The Big Bang Theory, Girls,
You gotta think like
every...
an Emmy voter. You gotta think like an Emmy voter, okay? Don't think like a TV fan or a Gold Derby editor. That's not going to help you. Okay, what are we moving on to?
Big Bang, it's never won besides Jim Parsons, right? Or have they won like some tech categories?
They've won, tech with it. Jim Parsons
like
is the
best cameras for a multicam on CBS. I think they won.
Well, no, Bob Newhart won, right?
That's right.
Oh, good. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So anyway, you got to think of all crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have no idea. Now let's move over to the drama side.
Wait, what about lead actor comedy?
Only if we can do it quickly because we're running out of time.
Okay, lead actor comedy. Why not? So Louis C.K. is going to be gone. Who's going to take that spot? Could Jim Parsons come back? Will Gabriel Garcia Bernal?
Yeah, Bernal. Absolutely, 100%. He's in.
But there were 7 last year, so even if who'd you say was out? Louis C.K. So that still leaves 6 that are eligible again.
True. That means someone could be out, and Aziz Ansari could also go in there as well.
Don Cheadle is probably the biggest lock to be in because
Don
for 5 years running, and he's always there.
He shouldn't be a lock, but he is.
Matt LeBlanc's out too, so that's
he's out. That's right. That's the other slot.
Okay, good. So there's at least one open.
So it's Aziz Ansari or Zach Galifianakis or Randall Park or who else have we talked about? Gal Garcia Bernal.
Ken Jeong would be great for Dr. Ken.
Are you kidding me?
Really? Okay. Wow. What about Bruce Campbell? Ash versus the Evil Dead. Stars is going crazy.
Would be awesome.
Charles, remember you can boot people. We
Oh.
went over this at the beginning.
Wait, is
No,
Bruce
in
Campbell...
terms of booting, what I really want to do is actually do the Simpsons Australian punishment of booting someone right now.
Wait,
Don't discourage the boot. That's a bootable
comedy or
offense.
drama? I haven't seen that one yet.
Ash versus the Evil Dead. That's a comedy.
They're putting it in comedy. It's a half-hour show, and it belongs in comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
And I've started to watch it because I'm interviewing him next week, and I don't know anything about the Evil Dead, but he's good. He's a possibility.
He was great.
Patrick Stewart.
He has a good episode. He plays his own twin.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh Patrick Stewart
Blunt Talk.
for Blunt Talk. Yeah, that would be great.
Rob Lowe, The Grinder. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities.
They got canceled.
Yeah, the Grinder just
got canceled.
Yeah, just in that bloodbath of yesterday, like so many shows got.
Wow. What about Grandfathered? Is that still in the
They
air?
got canceled.
Canceled. Yeah, they really killed a lot of shows off. So that hurts the Grinder because that could have been a possibility. But so I think they're pretty much it. William H Macy might be a problem. I don't know if they're still watching Shameless. I don't know.
No, it's not a problem. It's still alive.
Yeah, that's true. Anthony Anderson will most likely be back. So.
Oh, that's what we forgot in the lead actress category. Emmy Rossum for Shameless.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
See, doesn't that?
Just to say that we mentioned her. We
did mention her. We all love her. So, okay, that's a really stacked category as well. God, comedy is just really good at the moment. There's so much. All right.
Let's move over to drama series where we have at least one being knocked out. Mad Men won't be coming back. What could possibly go in there? Was there 6 nominees or 7 last year?
7. Mr. Robot's getting in there.
Mr. Robot's getting in. Yeah.
This morning, with the other editors, we were looking at some of the precursors. The WGA, the Writers Guild Award for Best New Series, that went to Mr. Robot. I think it's something like 10 or 15 years in a row that the winner of Best New Series went on to be nominated for Best Series at the Emmys. So that's a very, very telling precursor.
That has to be written up. That's a great idea.
So everything from Girls to Modern Family to Mad Men, it's very, very. It's a good precursor to have won for Mr. Robot.
Yeah, Mr. Robot is an absolute lock, and I reckon it's the only show that could possibly beat Game of Thrones. I honestly believe that. And I'm going to name drop, when I was talking to Damon Lindelof for like an hour and a half, because he's such a great guy, he was saying to me that he can't imagine a world in which Mr. Robot is not winning all the awards, and he's trying to promote The Leftovers. So
Wow.
people like him in the industry just think Mr. Robot is the best thing ever. It's definitely going to get nominations, and it's going to win some stuff.
I'm looking at last year's nominees, and can you see Homeland coming back?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't. Do you think so? Because it was a surprise last year.
I think it's back. It's just as good as ever, and I think Miranda Otto could actually get into the supporting actress.
Okay.
I think Orange is also on shaky ground. I'm not.
That's
I'm not
what I
too
was
sure.
thinking that
Orange is
too,
the New
yeah.
Black. It has. I mean, it's not. I guess it's coming out June 4th is the next season, so it at least has
17th.
that. Oh, really? It's during voting season or time still. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know if that'll make it back, because there's just so many good dramas out there, and I'm not sure if Game of Thrones is really the lock to win that. Maybe some think. It's a really competitive year. House of Cards had a great season. Mr. Robot is really good. You know, and House of
Yeah. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I'm hearing it's better than season 1. Is that true?
Yeah.
Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
It's good.
I thought it was still really good. I still preferred season 1. I thought the second season kind of felt like it didn't know where it was going for a little while. But I still enjoyed it immensely because I just love spending time with those characters.
It could get in a lot of places. It could get in for Ray Seahorn and Michael McKean.
Oh God, if Ray Seahorn got in, I'd be so happy.
Hey, on the Emmy for your consideration site, Seahorn submitted herself in the supporting, her publicist did on the supporting actress FYC site, and they submitted the episode Rebecca for her, which is her best episode.
It's a great episode.
So I really hope she gets in, because she was the MVP of the whole season, hands down for me.
Yes,
Cool.
absolutely. No, she was the She was the star of the show this second season, and I would love for her to get in. I think Better Call Saul is probably safe to get another nomination.
Yeah.
I think Orange is the New Black is on shaky ground because while the third season wasn't panned, I think a lot of people just felt disappointed.
It was forgettable.
Yeah, although it felt like most of it was going to be a setup for this current season, which looks to be really explosive.
And what do you guys think of Bloodline? I mean, it only got 2 nominations or something last year, but I mean, no one's seen it yet. It doesn't come out for another 2 weeks, but it's coming out right at the right time for voters.
The reviews are good. The 2 or 3 reviews that I've read are pretty good on it. So
I just love that show so much. I hope
it didn't work for me.
I don't think it really was a show that really took off as much as Netflix wanted it to. You know, I think it also in the drama category, you have a show like Narcos, which is really good and really, really well received. That's also a Netflix show. Netflix just has so much. I don't really know what they're gonna push. They haven't had a Bloodline FYC event this year so far. They've had one for Narcos. They've had one for House of Cards. All those big ones. So I mean, I guess it just depends on what they're gonna push the hardest.
Yeah.
Do we think Downton is in trouble for its final season?
I think the opposite. I think it'll.
Yeah, I think it'll win.
A ton of nominations.
Okay, that's what I was just gauging that because I actually think it could. Because I actually thought it finished pretty strong, so I thought it actually could. You know, it could. You know, reemerge here.
Yeah, and it just won the SAG.
It won SAG again, and let me tell you something. I think House of Cards is a big threat this year. I think I think that could. Yeah, I think it definitely could be. You know, it's something that we'll be considering happening, and then at first we'll act shocked if it pulls off a sweep like Homeland was when it won its first year. But in hindsight, we were like, oh yeah, we should have seen this coming. And by the end of the evening, it was no surprise that it won.
I think back to Downton. I think Bonneville and Dockery and Maggie Smith, they were all snubbed last year. I think all could possibly come back this year.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know about Dockery or Bonneville even, but
that's a difficult category. But with House of Cards, I don't usually binge shows so quickly, like because generally I just don't have a lot of time. But with that one, I just kind of gobbled it up like a greedy person. Like that show really has stuck with me because I think the last time we talked, one of us said, "Oh, but what about it was binged and now it's gone and it's in our distant memory." I don't know if that's necessarily going to hurt House of Cards because it's still stuck with me. I just felt it was the best season yet. And it's so in the Jimmy wheelhouse. Again, it's got the snub appeal.
And the election is going on right now, and Frank Underwood is just as crazy as any of those people that are running. Yeah. Could you imagine if they had like Kevin Spacey introduce Hillary Clinton at the Democratic National Convention in July and just like Frank Underwood there? That would be so cool. Or if he was just the nominee altogether.
If Game of Thrones loses, it'll be House of Cards that beats it.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, Spacey is just, my favorite thing, especially, I don't know if you had similar advertisements in LA, but, God, Netflix knew how to market in DC. The Metro in DC, when it's not on fire and actually running, had ads with Kevin Spacey as Frank Underwood, and it said Underwood 2016. On the trains and on the platforms, it said "Pushing America on the right track," and I was just like, "Oh my God!" This is like every House of Cards fan in the DC area just like creamed their pants when they saw that. It was hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know what, though, guys? I was in the minority last year. I didn't think Game of Thrones had its best season. It won for season 5, and this, I know, you don't agree with me, but this season so far, I think it is as strong as ever. I really think that if they continue this run, it will be unstoppable. In fact, I just believe we'll win again, regardless.
It's so much more buzzed about than ever before.
Yeah.
No other show in their 6th season can say that.
That's because they brought somebody back from the dead.
And we all knew that would happen, and we still talked about it.
People are still loving it.
It's still a kind of a jump the shark moment for me. I don't know. I think it's had a good season. I don't think it's been the first 4 episodes we got last year, as I said before, you just got the feeling that this was its year. It was really good, and this year so far has been good. But it really all the focus has just been on Jon Snow. Like nobody's really paying attention to anything else that's going on in the show, and I think there's so much more that they can develop. Though I hear Episode 8 on is supposed to be spectacular because that's when all the battle stuff happens, so I'm sure it'll get much stronger towards the end. But what about this one? It was snubbed last year. It's still Network's biggest show. Any chance?
Maybe.
If it could do it last year, I can't see it doing it this year.
I agree.
It's sad. It's really sad. What happened last year was a tragedy. We were all so ready for Empire to just smash it and get so many nominations, and it got costumes and Taraji. And
not even lyrics or song or anything.
Nothing. How ridiculous. That's one of the worst things the Emmy voters ever did. And this year we'll get nothing apart from Taraji. And that stinks.
If she gets in, I don't know. At this point, the thin support for that show, her being left out, I'm not predicting it, but it would not surprise me.
Who from her category is out? I'm looking now. Oh, just Elizabeth Moss. So there's 1 slot there, and on the drama actor side, there's 2 slots because Jeff Daniels and John Hamm are out.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Let's briefly talk about the 1 slot open in the lead actress category in a drama. Is there someone who you think is out front to take that slot?
Juliana Margulies.
Oh, that's right. She was left off last year, wasn't she?
Must be her.
That's true.
Without it, in fact, I think she's a threat for Viola to win.
Yeah.
I really do. The Good Wife's going to come back, I think, in a few different categories. Maybe not drama series, but Juliana is back. Christine Baranski is ahead at the moment. Whether you love the finale or not, The Good Wife. This is it for them, and I think the Emmy voters are going to give it its due because it did a lot for broadcast TV.
Michelle Dockery, if Downton Abbey has if the voters love it that much, which I think they do, she could come back.
Yeah.
What about Claire Danes get nominated last year?
Claire Danes?
Claire
Did
Danes?
she get nominated last year?
Yeah, she has. She's been nominated each year.
Okay. I remember
I
any.
put this out there? What about Kerry Russell? I've got my fingers and toes crossed for
No,
that.
that show's dead. Just give up on that show.
It's not.
Can we just make that point one more time that the Americans and other shows I won't mention because we don't have all day, but the Americans, for God's
It's
sake.
not dead. It went up in nominations last year, and it went up in wins.
It won. And it
Yes.
won.
Yeah, to the most mocked win of last
dead.
year.
But it went
But
from 0 wins to 1, and it went from 1 nomination to 2. That's a surge, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a surge.
And the surge is working.
The writers are so smart, and I think it'll be back in the writing category, and hopefully an actor, maybe Kerry Russell. She has more of a shot than Matthew Rhys, only because lead actor is ridiculous to get in.
I hope Alison Wright gets in. Oh, she's so good this season.
So do I. You know what? Actually, that being said, yeah, she has a really good shot too.
I'm not predicting the Americans in any major categories
Never.
until I see it happen. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. I would love for it to happen, but until it does, I don't.
Same thing with the leftovers, which everybody on the board loves. I'd never predict that for anything because it doesn't seem like the show that people want to nominate.
And I wanted to bring that up because I believe that is the best show on television, and especially season 2, it's just so vastly improved. If you read the reviews for that show, your head will spin. It's just such a work of art. But I'm not going to put it in there. I mean, because Emmy voters, they just don't seem to be into it. But maybe it might get a few little bits and pieces in other categories. But drama series is difficult. Like Outlander, and Gold Derby, we like to put Outlander out there. It's not going to get a drama series nomination at this point because it's just too hard. But it could get a few other things. So we've just got to keep our fingers crossed for these shows.
Yeah, Katrina could get in. What about Quantico? Chopra?
That's actually a possibility. I know it sounds crazy, but if the Emmys want to go for diversity, for example, if that's one of the things that they're trying to look for, Priyanka Chopra, she's out there and she's doing a really good job on Quantico. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One other show we forgot, The Affair. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought I remember the second season reviews being pretty good.
It was amazing. Season 2 was fantastic. Maura Tierney, I want her to win. She's great.
And she's coming out with the Globe win, right?
Yeah. Ruth Wilson could get in. It's just the weirdest thing when that show it won all those Golden Globes and then it just completely snubbed. Not even like music and lyrics from Fiona Apple? Is that who did that?
Yeah.
Or am I confusing myself?
It was the theme song, which is it's like a really great theme song, and yeah, she didn't even get nominated for that. Whether you like it or not, it just seemed like the kind of thing the Emmys would vote for. Nothing. So yeah, that's really difficult.
This is ridiculous. And even in drama actor, it's absolutely ridiculous. We have 2 openings there with Jeff Daniels and last year's champ John Hamm is gone. I don't know what to make of that. Could Aaron Paul get back in? Get into the lead category for The Path? Will Liev Schreiber be back? Rami Malek?
Rami's in, yeah.
Yeah, Rami. I think Rami's in.
This is where Hugh Bonneville could come back.
Yeah, Hugh Bonneville. And Bobby Cannavale is a likely possibility for awards votes.
Oh yeah, you wrote that article, remember?
Yeah, I forgot.
So there's a lot going on, and even in the supporting actor race, there's so many possibilities there, and it looks like it's probably a race between Dinklage, Banks, Cumming, Slater, McKeon, Michael Kelly, Ben Mendelsohn,
Carter, yes, you cannot underestimate.
Yeah, he's in there regardless.
He's going to get nominated for seasons that don't even exist. That man's just always in there.
If he wins, I will actually be very happy.
Yeah, a lot of
Banks.
A lot of our experts are predicting Ray Romano from Vinyl. I just thought that was really interesting. A lot of them have got that in their slots, so that's opened my eyes. It's a possibility. He's an Emmy legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know.
A strong word.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's no Doris Roberts.
All right.
All right.
Alan Alda in Horace and Pete. That's another one.
Yes. If anyone from that show gets in for acting, I think it's him. I think he's got a good chance.
And maybe Laura Metcalf in guest. So there's have we missed anybody? Have we pretty much covered the bases? What about supporting actress? Is there anything in there that we want to talk about?
Rhea
Margot's-
Seehorn needs to get in there. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Rhea
she needs to
Seehorn
get in.
needs to get in there.
Yeah.
Christina Hendricks will be gone, but it's gonna be a tough slog. If the others still come back, if all the other ones that were there last year still come back, there's a very good. I think Maggie Smith has a very good shot of getting back in there. It is just brutal.
I mean,
Yeah.
Margot Martindale and Christine Baranski, I think, are both getting in for The Good Wife.
Yeah.
And then
Is
you have
Margot Martindale supporting or guest?
She's supporting. And then you have the two Game of Thrones ladies, Amelia and Lena. And
I think-
there's not a lot of slots for new people,
There,
unfortunately.
isn't it? Because you've got Joanne Froggatt, you've got Maggie Smith, you've got
Uzo.
Uzo Aduba. Edie Falco's in Horace and Pete. Don't forget her, because Emmy voters will just vote for her no matter what she does.
True.
And she's in that. Constance Zimmer in Unreal.
Oh, I hope so.
Maggie Siff in Billions.
Any of the other women from Orange is the New Black, I would love to see Danielle Brooks get in. I thought she was wonderful last season. And oh god, I can't remember the actress's name, and I feel so horrible. The one that converted to Judaism, I thought she was wonderful last year.
I want to see Yell Stone get in.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
She's amazing.
I'm still mad Lorraine Toussaint got snubbed. I'm not going to get over that
that's
for a few
right.
years.
You and me both, Marcus. You and me both. That was a crime. The
That's
Emmy should
crazy.
have tried in The Hague for that. That was awful.
Agreed. And what about I don't know, did we say Moritini? Because she just won the Globe, right, out of nowhere.
She's great.
I believe Regina King, now that she's on the Emmy radar, could get in here for The Leftovers. That could be the only thing The Leftovers get, unfortunately. Someone else from Downton could surprise.
Alison Wright, The Americans, I'll say that again because she deserves it.
Yeah. It's really difficult. Jessica Lange in Horace and Pete. Really. They've got to open these slots up to like 10 or 15 at this rate. This is crazy. The Oscars don't have this problem. Okay, it's just the
I
Emmys.
know, it's crazy.
That's because the Oscars
Oscars
go for all white.
if the
You're
Oscars-
talking about a lot of diversity. You're talking about Regina King and stuff. She never would be on the Oscars radar.
No, that's true, and that's the beauty of television. It's so much more inclusive than the film industry at this stage. And
the Oscars, it comes down to 5 or 6 each year. It's like,
right.
is it this one or this one? Because the other 4 are locks. It's crazy how different the Emmys are.
That's one thing I love about the Emmys, though, is that the Oscars pay so much attention to like the Globes and the SAGs and everybody else, and we see the same person consecutively winning. Where at the Emmys, they don't give a flying crap who's won a Golden Globe. They're gonna do whatever the hell they want, even if it's somebody they gave 8 Emmys to last time.
Let's just give you another one. If they like you, they like you, and if they don't like you, you're out. And I love that. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I think also, I don't know whether, I can't remember whether she would be guest or supporting, but Laverne Cox had a great season on Orange is the New Black, and I think the last season, I think she would be a very welcome return to get in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that it?
I think
Oh, it's the one I was thinking of is her name is Adrienne C. Moore. That's the name of the actress.
okay. That gives me pause, given that you couldn't remember her name. But I trust you, and thank you for opening my eyes to Ray Seahorn, because I'm going to, when I watch Better Call Saul, I'll be keeping an eye out on that.
She's great.
Yeah, she absolutely deserves it. She deserves to win too.
You don't have to keep an eye out. You're gonna be like, wow, where the hell is her Emmy nomination?
Yeah, you'll be
She's
getting
incredible.
I'll be like,
'Cause
I'll
she-
just email you one night. Oh my god, I can't believe how good she is. So yeah, I can't wait.
I mean,
for that.
the show still moves at like a snail's pace.
That's why.
But
That's why.
she really picks everything up. Like I honestly had to I honestly had to fast forward every Mickey scene on there because Jonathan Banks, there was like that arc I couldn't follow, so I don't even know what happened on his storylines. But hers were so engulfed. Like she was just so damn good.
Mike was on his own show this year. Mike was on Breaking Bad still because he was dealing with all the drugs and all of the
Okay.
the bad guys from Breaking Bad. And Jimmy and Ray Seahorn, they're on Better Call Saul, but Mike is still over on his old show. I think they need to try to integrate him more with what's going on.
That would help.
All I'm just waiting for is for Giancarlo Esposito to make his appearance on Better Call Saul. That's all I'm waiting for, and I want redemption for 2012. I want that so
I'm still
bad.
not over that. I'm still not over Giancarlo Esposito not winning that Emmy. That was really tough.
But it went to Aaron Paul, and
Yeah.
you know, when you saw the look on his face, you know, he was actually so overjoyed just to be there. Like I couldn't feel too bad.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we've blabbed on for quite a while here.
Wow.
Yeah, this is another crazy year, and we have no idea what's going to happen because the Emmys always throw us curveballs, and we just never know what it's going to be. So it's the ones that we're going to be proud of that we get to brag about are going to be ones that we just threw in there for the hell of it. That's the craziest thing about this one, about this ceremony in particular. Any final thoughts, anyone?
I want to know what's everyone's who's on your wish list for a win? Like one person, if they were to win this year, that would make you the happiest.
So that's too hard. One person?
God, that's really tough.
I'll just throw it down. Okay, so I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say, so in case it's not Christine Baranski, I'm going to go for Rami Malek. That's the one person that would make me the happiest.
Well, we know Ralph's is Gina, so skip him.
As always. I gotta say, in the supporting actor in a comedy category, I would love to see Stephen Tobolowsky get in for Silicon Valley. He is so good this year. He is. I mean, well, he wasn't on last year, but he's such a great character actor. And you know, if you don't know the name, if you've seen Groundhog Day, you know who Ned Ryerson is. You know,
Californication.
He's such a great character actor, and he's so good in this season. And also Sam Richardson on Veep has really shined this year as Richard Splett. He is genius, and I would love to see him just win everything. Also Matt Walsh, he had a great episode this past week.
Mine is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Sarah Paulson. Sarah Paulson.
She doesn't exist. She's a mythical figure, like Santa Claus, or
You should interview her or take a selfie with her at some point if you ever meet her.
She reminds me a lot of Angela Lansbury, where she gets nominated all the time, but she just never wins.
Yeah, she's Susan Lucci.
Isn't she dating Angela Lansbury right now?
No.
No, she deserves
We love you,
it.
Sarah Paulson. Please, if you hear about this chat, we actually really love you. You know
No, I
that.
adore her. I adore her.
I don't know though. I do love Sarah Paulson, but Kirsten Dunst would be. I would just be so happy if she won for Lop Lop, because I still think that's the best female performance we've seen, or I've seen this television season. I thought she was insanely good.
Let's not even talk about that category because that makes my head hurt.
That's a whole nother.
That is a beast. That's like drama actress of last year when we were all trying to figure out who's gonna win.
Yeah. After we see Roots, let's do a limited series slugfest. We should all watch Roots first.
We've got to watch Roots first, and then I can talk all about the girlfriend experience obsession. So we'll leave that for next time.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. We'll see what happens. It's a coin flip or a 20-sided die, more like it, for all you Dungeons and Dragons nerds out there. Get a life, you people. And we wish you the best. And again, Tom, peace and blessings be upon you. Take care, guys.